Before you scroll, pause, because this video, it might make you angry, it might make you uncomfortable, but it will absolutely change how you view the world. We were taught from childhood, be kind, be selfless, always help others. But what if I told you that blind kindness can be the trap that ruins your relationships, derails your goals, and destroys your sense of self? You might think you're being a good person, but in reality, you're bleeding yourself dry for people who will never do the same for you. Don't skip this. Don't click away, because by the end of this video, you'll understand what true Stoic kindness looks like, not the soft, people-pleasing, soul-draining type, but the fierce, clear, powerful virtue that protects your life like armor. This is Stoic in Facts, and today we uncover the 5 Stoic lessons that show why kindness, without boundaries, is not just dangerous. The dangerous mask of kindness? Let's talk about Jason, a quiet man, smart, kind, empathetic, the type who stayed late at work when others left, the one who lent money even when his account was close to zero, the guy who never said no, ever. At first, people loved him. They called him reliable, good-hearted, a rock. But slowly, as the calls became expectations, his favors became obligations. And when he finally burned out, exhausted, sick, broke, everyone vanished. Why? Because Jason wasn't valued. He was used. Epictetus said, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." Jason forgot that. He didn't choose who to be. He let others define him as the nice guy. And when he was no longer useful, they found someone else. Lesson 1. You cannot give from an empty vessel. One of the greatest deceptions of modern life is this, that self-sacrifice is always noble. It's not. Yes, there are moments when sacrifice is heroic, but when it becomes habitual, when you're constantly saying yes just to avoid guilt, that's not kindness. That's martyrdom. Seneca wrote, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, who is poor." But craving love, approval, and validation through people-pleasing, that's a spiritual poverty. You think you're being kind, but what you're really doing is slowly erasing yourself. You skip the gym to help a friend move. You cancel your rest day to take someone to the airport. You loan money, again, even though they haven't paid you back the last 3 times. Each time it chips away at your self-respect. Stoics say the first duty of a rational being is to be in harmony with itself. If your kindness breaks your own harmony, it is not virtue, it is weakness. Lesson 2. Kindness makes you a target in a world of predators. Let's get brutally honest. The world doer is not full of angels. There are people who watch your kindness, study it, take note of your guilt, your hesitation, your desire to be seen as good, and then they use it. Seneca called it the injustice of the ungrateful. There are those who will borrow and never repay, flatter you just to ask for more, praise your heart while draining your energy. And when you finally draw a boundary, you become the enemy. This is why Stoicism is not about blind trust. It is about measured compassion. Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." And being good does not mean being naive. Kindness without discretion? That's not virtue. That's inviting the wolves into your home. Lesson 3. Empathy is a gift, but without a gatekeeper, it's a curse. If you're someone who feels everything deeply, who cries during movies, who holds pain like a sponge, you're probably an empath. And that's a powerful thing when managed. But Stoicism teaches us this critical principle. You are not the fireman of the world. You are not obligated to extinguish everyone's fire, especially when they keep lighting the match. Here's the danger. You take in everyone's pain. You try to fix problems that aren't yours. You stay up all night worrying about things you cannot control. And all the while, your life, your dreams, your energy, they crumble. Healthcare workers, teachers, therapists. These are some of the kindest people in the world, and also the most burnt out. Why? Because empathy without boundaries is self-harm disguised as compassion. Epictetus would remind us, we suffer not from the things themselves, but from our judgments about them. It's okay to care, but it is essential to protect your peace. Lesson 4. Saying no is the most sacred form of kindness. Yes. No. Two of the most powerful words in any language. But only one of them will save your life. How many times have you said yes just to avoid conflict? How many times did you agree only to resent it later? Stoicism demands inner clarity. Marcus Aurelius. If something is difficult to accomplish, know that it is the way of nature, and thus to be accepted. Saying no is difficult. It feels unnatural, especially for the overly kind. But it is necessary. Saying no is not rejection, it's protection. It protects your time, your health, your focus, your soul. When you say no to draining people, you say yes to yourself. And that, my friend, is the kindest act of all. Lesson 5. Kindness without strength is just submission. Here's the final and most devastating truth. Kindness is only kindness when it comes from power. If you are kind because you're afraid of confrontation, that's not kindness. If you are kind because you fear being disliked, that's not kindness. If you are kind because it's easier to bend than to stand, that is not kindness. That is surrender. Stoicism says that virtue must be chosen, not coerced. Seneca again. A good man does not serve because he must. He serves because he chooses. If your kindness is rooted in guilt, fear, or anxiety, it is not noble. It is the path of least resistance. And Stoics never take the easy path. True kindness, it comes from someone who could say no, who could walk away, who has power, and still chooses compassion. That is what separates the slave from the sovereign. Kindness is not a weakness, but it can become one if it's not guided by strength, reason, and clarity. So remember these 5 Stoic lessons. You cannot give from an empty vessel. Kindness makes you a target in a world of predators. Empathy must be guarded, or it becomes a curse. No is the kindest word when spoken with truth. Kindness without strength is not kindness at all. Be kind, be fierce, be untouchable. This is the way of the Stoic. This is the path to power. This is Stoic in facts. If this video resonated, like it so more people can break free from toxic kindness. Drop a comment. What's one boundary you will start enforcing today? Hit subscribe and turn on the bell. Because every week we bring you Stoic truth in a world full of noise. And remember, you're not here to please. You're here to lead. Stay sharp, stay grounded, and walk the path of wisdom.